What causes Photoshop slowdowns with large files and layers? Imagine working on a detailed project with dozens of layers and high-resolution images. Suddenly, everything slows down, and your workflow gets frustrating. What makes Photoshop act this way when handling big files and many layers? Well, it all comes down to how your computer handles the workload. Photoshop relies heavily on your system's memory, which is called random access memory. When you open a large file with lots of layers, especially if they have effects like masks, blending modes, or smart objects, it demands more memory to keep everything in quick access. If your computer doesn't have enough RAM, Photoshop starts to slow down because it has to use the scratch disk instead. The scratch disk is a part of your hard drive or solid-state drive that acts like virtual memory. But if that space is nearly full or slow, it creates a bottleneck, making your work sluggish. Layers with complex effects also add to the problem. For example, masks and adjustment layers requiring Photoshop to process more pixel data each time you make a change. The more layers you have, the more calculations Photoshop needs to do, which can cause lag. High-resolution images, like those over 10,000 pixels square, are even more demanding because they contain a huge amount of data. This increases the file size and the amount of information Photoshop must handle at once. Your hardware plays a role too. Photoshop uses the graphics processing unit, or GPU, to speed up certain tasks. If your GPU is outdated or doesn't have enough memory, it can slow down your editing. Sometimes, corrupt or overly large preset files and color profiles can also cause lag, especially when opening files or switching tools. To keep Photoshop running smoothly, you can close other applications to free up system memory. Increasing the amount of RAM allocated to Photoshop in the performance settings helps a lot. Setting your scratch disks to fast drives with plenty of free space improves processing speed. Converting multiple layers into smart objects reduces the number of layers Photoshop needs to process directly, which can boost performance. Turning off compression when saving files can also help speed things up, though it will make your files larger. Always keep Photoshop updated because updates often include performance fixes. Working on files stored locally rather than on network drives can cut down lag. Finally, lowering your display resolution reduces the load on your GPU, making your work smoother. Understanding these factors and making small adjustments can make a big difference. When your system handles large files and complex layers better, you'll spend less time waiting and more time creating.